see where we left off. So we'll step back with that left foot. Left foot's rotated about a 45-degree angle. We'll sink into that right leg any amount. Feeling strength along the outer side of this leg, pressing down to the outer edge of that left foot. Left hip forward, right hip back. Hands can stay at the hips, at heart center, or reaching up to the sky. Checking in with the chest, we often like to do this. Zip those ribs back together. Strengthen that back leg, allows you to sink into this right leg any amount. Feeling those legs fire up. Your next inhale reaches you out over that front leg. And we'll bring it back up. Hands meeting back at heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, steps forward, giving it a shake. We'll step back with that right leg again. Train tracks with the legs, rotating that right foot 45 degrees. We'll sink into this left leg. So this is warrior one. Feeling strength in those legs, strong, sturdy base. Inhale to reach out over that front leg. Staying here or launching off that back foot. Moving into warrior three. More stability, arms can reach out to the side. Check in with this right hip. Right hip's going to want to lift up. See if you can level out those hips, so both hip bones pointing down towards the earth. For more of a challenge, arms reaching out to the front. Standing leg is strong. One more inhale here. Exhale, steps that right foot back, planting into warrior one. Hands at the hips. Inhale, find strength. Exhale, steps it forward, shaking it out. We'll step that left foot back one more time, train tracks with the legs. Left foot 45-degree angle. Right knee bending, sinking into that right leg. Left hip forward, right hip back. Hands at the hips, heart center, or reaching up to the sky. Checking in with that chest, zip those ribs back together. Inhale reaches out over that front leg. Staying here or launching off that back foot. Arms can reach out. Arms can reach out to the side with the hips. Checking in with that left hip. Left hip's going to want to open. See if you can level out those hips. So dropping that left hip more than you think you should. Breathe in. And we'll step back into warrior one. Hands at the hips. Inhale here. Exhale, steps it forward. Giving it a shake. And we'll all take a nice wide stance on our mat. Toes pointing forward. Hands at the hips. Let's rotate that left foot around so toes are north pointing towards the end of the mat. And let's sink into that left leg. So moving into warrior two. Hands reaching out to either side. Strength along the outer edge of this right leg allows you to sink into this left side. So we want active arms, active hands. Feeling the energy coming out of the fingertips. Careful here, when we begin to sink into this left leg, we may want to kind of lean towards the left. Try and keep your upper body right above your pelvis, so staying in line. And gaze can move out over that left hand. Feeling that left leg externally rotating, so as if you're still in tree pose, trying to open that knee any amount. Inhale, fingertips reach out over that left leg. Forearm comes to rest on the thigh. Right arm reaches overhead. Side angle. See if you can put little weight on this leg, so you don't need to rest your whole body weight. Lift up. Use that core a little bit to lift the upper body. One more inhale here. Exhale, back to warrior two. lengthening that front leg, rotating it back around, moving on to the other side. So right toes rotate around towards the edge of that mat. Fingertips reaching out to the side. We'll begin to bend into this front leg. Strength along the outer edge of this leg, pressing the outer edge of that left foot into your mat. Softening that right leg. Active hands, active arms. Inhale, fingertips reaching out over that right leg. Forearm comes to rest on the thigh. Left arm reaches overhead. Inhale brings us back to warrior two, lengthening that front side, rotating those feet around. And we'll jump the legs together. Whew. Giving the body a good shake. Step to the top of our mat, hands at heart center. Inhale, fingertips reach up. Exhale, spreads our wings, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Exhale, folds down. Bending your knees to plant the hand, step that right foot back. And we'll drop down onto that back knee. Toes stay curled under. Hands on top of the left thigh. Drawing that left leg forward to lengthen the front side of the right leg. Fingertips reach up to the sky. And maybe reach back a bit for a slight back bend. Exhale brings us back to center, and then fingertips reach the earth. We'll just begin to shift our weight forward and back. So exhale, lengthens back. Inhale, bends into that left knee. Exhale, lengthens back, lengthening the left leg. Inhale, brings forward. Exhale, weight shifts back. Inhale, weight shifts forward. And we'll walk our left foot over to our right wrist, bending into that knee, left knee to the left wrist. So moving into pigeon pose. Staying upright. We want those back toes still curled under, using them as leverage to press into it. Feel your left hip reach forward, right hip reaches back. So we want an active pigeon pose here. Feeling it in the hips. Yep. And breathing into those hips or any other part of the body that's calling out. Seeing if maybe you can soften any part of the body. Alright, now we can lower down any amount. So maybe bending into the elbows, maybe lowering down to the forearms, stacking your fists, forehead on the fist. So same thing here, drawing that right hip forward, left hip back. And inhale, lifts the upper body. Curling those back toes, we'll step that left foot back, downward facing dog. And then we'll step that left foot forward in between the hands. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Exhale, folds down. Left foot steps back this time, dropping down onto that back knee. Hands on top of the front thigh. Press with your arms that right thigh forward, lengthening the left. Inhale, fingertips reaching to the sky. Exhale, maybe a baby back bend. Inhale brings us back to center. Exhale, fingertips reach the earth. Just beginning that weight shift again. Exhale to lengthen back. Inhale brings you forward. Exhale, lengthens back. Inhale brings you forward. Exhale, lengthens back. Inhale brings you forward. And now walking that right foot over to the left wrist. Right knee to the right wrist. Moving into pigeon on this side. Pigeon may feel quite different one side to another. That's okay. So active pose here. Left hip presses forward, right hip presses back. Feeling the external rotation in that right hip as if you're in tree pose again. Rotating that knee outward. And breathing. You can stay upright or begin to lower down any amount. Maybe it's just bending the elbows. Maybe lowering to the forearms. Staying active here in this pose. And we'll inhale to lift up. Curling those back toes under, pressing through the hands, stepping that right leg back, downward facing dog. Drop down to your knees, child's pose. Notice how this child's pose might feel different than the one at the beginning of our practice. And then we'll lift up to come sit on our heels. And then rotate around so we're sitting on our bums, legs out in front. Reach around and move your butt mass out of the way so your sit bones can really root down into your mat. Active legs here, so flexing those feet. Inhale to sit as tall as you've sat all day. Frankenstein arms here. And now we're going to reach those arms out, hinging at the hips as if we're folding forward. So reaching those arms out, keeping the length in your spine. So if you're reaching like this, you've probably gone too far. So reaching, hinging at the hips, Frankenstein arms, and once you've gone as far as you can without losing the integrity of the spine, then you can round out. And so this pose here is less hamstring, leg stretch, more back opener. So the goal isn't to touch your feet. If you can, great. If you can't, awesome. You know, doesn't really matter. We're just going to pause and breathe in this pose. Each exhale releases effort from the body. Inhale to lift up, sitting tall. We'll step that right foot in, planting that foot on the inside of the left leg. Right arm reaches behind. Left arm hugs that knee in, or left elbow reaches around, moving into a seated twist. Each exhale, feel your body wringing out, feel your core wringing out, getting deeper into that twist with each exhale. Inhale brings us back to center. Switching sides, stepping that left foot in. Left arm reaches behind, hugging that knee in, or right arm, right elbow presses into the left leg. Sophie, you're on camera. Inhale brings us back to center. Giving the legs a good shake. And transitioning down onto our backs. Hugging those knees in. And then releasing out into your space. So lengthening the legs. Arms released down by your side, moving into the final pose of our practice, our Shavasana. Softly closing the eyes and allowing the body to rest. Feeling your body settling down into your space. Back of the head releases down. Feel your face softening. Feel your jaw loosening. Shoulders just melting down. Arm bones are heavy. Leg bones are heavy. Just feeling the body become heavy. Our Shavasana is the time where we can really soak in the benefits of our physical practice. So allow your body to rest. Enjoy what it feels like to rest. Your mind's going to want to wander. Just bring it back to the breath. Let those thoughts pass by. You can find them later. As we settle in for the next few moments of our Shavasana, I have a poem to share called Sleeping in the Forest by Mary Oliver. I thought the earth remembered me. She took me back so tenderly, arranging her dark skirts, her pockets full of lichens and seeds. I slept as never before, a stone on the riverbed, nothing between me and the white fire of the stars but my thoughts, and they floated light as moths among the branches of the perfect trees. All night I heard the small kingdoms breathing around me, the insects and the birds who do their work in the darkness. All night I rose and fell, as if in water, grappling with a luminous doom. By morning, I had vanished at least a dozen times into something better. Inviting a deeper breath back into your body. Finding small movements, fingers and toes. Gently rocking the head side to side. Reaching those arms overhead. Growing the left side longer than the right. Growing the right side longer than the left. Growing both sides long. And drawing your knees in for a hug. And then rolling over to one side of the body, coming to rest on that arm. Pausing for a moment. Just reminding ourselves what it feels like to rest. Reminding ourselves what it feels like to have support beneath us. Press yourself into a comfortable seated position. Keeping those eyes closed, we'll draw our hands to heart center, feeling the thumbs connecting with your sternum, connecting with that heart center. Filling yourself with a sense of gratitude for showing up and allowing your practice to unfold. I thank each of you for your openness and your